Gannistan i kostnad vid banan om hela staden. Nu spetsar jag mig krom. Jag ska i det förra. Släng saker. Hi there guys and girls. I got a video to do about Mortal Kombat Deception and something you might not know about it, the backwards talking that's in the game. I wanted to talk about some of the hidden content in MK Deception where basically certain characters you talk to, you know, they speak to you and they go blah blah blah. They talk backwards and they're saying things to you, but you don't know it. Unless you're like me and you either recorded the footage and reversed it, or like me, hacked all the audio out of the game and reversed it. So I thought I'd go over that audio, which I've typed up. So this may be a long video. Sorry. But if you haven't already, ring the bell. Hit the subscribe button. Appreciate that. So let's jump into this. Okay, so the way I had to get this audio out is there's basically most of the phrases are repeated twice in the game. A male saying it and a female saying it. And yeah, the way I did it, certain files and stuff, you know, this is a bit messy, so I'm going to try not to repeat myself, but we'll see how we go, alright? So, the first statement I got here is, and what I love about these, actually, before I just go straight into the statement, I just love this secret, because there's in this audio, there's facts, there's jokes, and there's tips. And I think it's great that they hid stuff like that. They don't do this anymore in Mortal Kombat games. They don't. They're boring now. They don't hide stuff like this anymore in the game. And like in the older games, they had a lot more fun doing shit like this. And in the newer games, it's so obvious, the stuff they do in the new games. Like, for example, in MK11, in the crypt, right? You're going through the crypt, and you run through, and you kind of run into like that first like main part when you go down the stairs from the courtyard, and you see the Goro statue, and you see the table there, and Kano at the end, and that's a reference to the movie. That's so obvious. Like, most people are going to notice or pick up on that. Like, it's really, really surface level, really sort of easy to spot. This required more work. Like I said, they're talking backwards. You'd have to record it, reverse it, find a way to reverse the sound to figure out what they're saying, because you can't hear it just by listening to it. You can't. It doesn't matter if you listen to it 100 times, unless you're some sort of mental genius, you might be able to work it out. But this is what I love about Deception. There was a lot of stuff in this game. So, the first statement was that I've got here. These aren't in any particular list. It's just how I've extracted them and typed them up.
If all 6 Kamidogu are fused into one, they will become a most powerful weapon.
If all 6 Kamidogu are fused into one, they will become a most powerful weapon. So that's a factual statement saying that Anagas, it talks about it later, Anagas seeks to join all the Kamidogu into one because one person can't wield the power of one Kamidogu. It's thought, basically a Kamidogu is the power of the whole realm that it's from. So there's an Earth realm Kamidogu, there's a Nether realm one, an Outworld one, and the only way someone could wield the power is if it was one Kamidogu. So he's trying to get around it by, instead of having 6 separate ones, or 5 separate ones, whatever, he wants to put it into one so he can control it. Because no one person can control a power of more than one Kamidogu. So, second statement.
The elder gods do not directly interfere in the affairs of the realms, for fear that they may awaken the one being.
The elder gods do not directly interfere in the affairs of the realms for fear that they may awaken the one being. That's another fact. See, and that's another thing I liked about this too, is that Mortal Kombat, up until this last game, they always referenced the elder gods. You never knew who they were. You saw a few little images. They were in the cutscene in MK9. They were at the end of MK3 when you beat the game. As shadows, 3 shadows looming over the city. When this MK11 came out, they introduced something stronger than the elder gods, which I fucking hated. Because, like, where does it end? If you got elder gods, and then you got titans who are more powerful than elder gods, then what, in the next one they're just going to introduce another thing that's more powerful than titan. It just took something away from elder gods. Elder gods were like the top gods. You had elder gods, then you had realm gods, like Raiden, who would look after our realm, you know, so they were like tiers of gods. And now it's just another tier they added, and it just felt unnecessary. There was already a top tier, for me anyway.
In their purest form, the elder gods resemble the dragon symbol of the Mortal Kombat tournament.
In their purest form, the elder gods resemble the dragon symbol of the Mortal Kombat tournament. Fact. So yeah, the Mortal Kombat logo, they're saying that the elder gods resemble that. And there actually is one moment in the games where you see this, or I believe so, and that is in MK9, when you beat Shao Kahn and the elder gods finally step in and stop him after just ignoring you for the whole storyline. They come in at the end. They come in as dragons. They come in as little dragons. Also, in the intro, Shao Kahn mentions they masquerade as dragons, but are mere toothless worms. You know, so even Shao Kahn sort of knows what they look like. And they come in and they like devour his soul when you win MK9 for breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat. So that's kind of cool. And remember, this was in MK Deception, which was the 6th game. So.
Where are the elder gods, Raiden? Their pathetic Mortal Kombat shackles me no longer. They masquerade as dragons, but are mere toothless worms. My venom spreads. It is the end of all things. Armageddon. Stop! It is done. Your time has passed. Ages wasted in foolish resistance. Now is the dawn of my rule.
No stronger. The dog Ridlock Uth. Nitanaval. Jerem Maltel.
Yes.
Melera.
Pray to worms, as your
Itel. Rechup Uth Oi Denizai. He must win.
They masquerade as dragons, but are mere toothless worms. I know you can feel it. It is the end of all things.
Elder gods, where are you? Why do you forsake me?
Your time has passed. Ages wasted in foolish resistance. I have won.
Yes. You have won.
Now, Raiden, your world ends.
You violate our will, Shao Kahn. You merge realms without victory in Mortal Kombat. Our penalty is clear.
An anemic effort from ineffectual deities.
It is over.
The Dragon King will rule supreme.
The Dragon King will rule supreme. That's a fact.
The Dragon King watched from beyond death as events unfolded.
The Dragon King watched from beyond death as events unfolded. So that goes back to a whole, like, if you believe in, fate and things like that, and coincidence and things like that. There's a lot of stuff in Japanese anime about that you can follow the path to a certain destiny, I think that's a sort of reference to that sort of way of thinking, that the Dragon King waited for his time to sort of strike and come back. That's the way I see that anyway.
The Mortal Kombat tournament was created to allow Shao Kahn to earn the right to merge other realms with Outworld.
The Mortal Kombat tournament was created to allow Shao Kahn to earn the right to merge other realms with Outworld. So we knew this one through various medias, but yeah, so before, when Shao Kahn invaded Edenia, there was no Mortal Kombat tournament. He literally opened a portal, stepped through the world, killed King Jared, killed Elder Guards, and just took it. He just took it. And there was no one to stop him. And then the Elder Gods saw what he did, saw that it was unfair, created a tournament. So when he tried to do that for Earthrealm, they said you're not allowed to do that. You have to win 10 straight Mortal Kombat tournaments to step through and claim our world. If we lose 10 times, he can then have the world. That's the rules. Okay, next. Did you ring the bell?
Each Kamidogu can only be used by one individual. but Onaga seeks to fuse them all into one so that he may utilize their combined power.
Each Komidogu can only be used by one individual, but Onaga seeks to fuse them into one so that he may utilize their combined power. That's what I was talking about before.
The forces of good and evil balance each other through the act of combat.
The forces of good and evil balance each other through the act of combat. So that goes back to the whole yin-yang philosophy, you know, good and evil have to coexist for balance in reality.
Long ago, the Elder Gods shattered the one being with the 6 Kamidogu.
Long ago, the Elder Gods shattered the one being with the 6th Komidogu. I believe the 6th Komidogu is the amulet, if I remember correctly. Because I think Onaga says that at the end of the Conquest mode, that if you had to put the 6th one, the Komidogu would have been transported to the Elder Gods. I have a feeling that he mentions that that is the 6th Komidogu, or that it's mentioned somewhere in the story.
The body of Liu Kang has been reanimated. It has wrought destruction upon his Shaolin brothers.
The body of Liu Kang has been reanimated. It has brought destruction of his Shaolin brothers. So, they talk about it a lot in MK Deception. It's quite interesting, and I double-checked this with Tabmot99. In MK Deception, you don't find out who reanimated Liu Kang's body. It's not mentioned. I don't believe it's even mentioned. I know it doesn't exist as a video or image or sound. I don't think it's mentioned in text. But you never find out who reanimated Liu Kang's body until later on. And there is an image of it. And it's from MK9. It's quite cool I threw this in there. One of the best parts of the MK9 intro is when Raiden gets killed by Shao Kahn. Dark Raiden gets killed by Shao Kahn. And he says he must win. And then, like, he sends the message back in time. And that little, I don't know, 10-second sequence of sort of a time jump back to the past is full of, like, still images. Like, bang, you know, Liu Kang winning MK1. Bang, you know, Kano and Sonya chained up in Outworld. That's an MK2 reference. And it sort of goes through all the games up to 9. And each image is a reference to a key point or a key storyline point in the Mortal Kombat story. So,
He must win.
Lord Raiden, what is wrong?
Strange visions.
Your amulet.
It is nothing, Liu Kang. The tournament begins.
this image that I'm talking about of Raiden reanimating zombie Liu Kang to kill people, that image is in there, and that's it, and this is it. You're looking at it. That's, yeah. It was cool they put that in, I thought, because it was sort of supposed to be a secret, I think, in Deception. They didn't want to say who. It seemed like they were going for that mystery element, which was kind of cool.
It is a little known fact that Ermac is short for error macro.
It is a little known fact that Ermac is short for error macro. That's a fact, and that's based on a real thing from MK1.
Shao Kahn, Lucifer, and Raiden are of the same race of beings.
Shao Kahn, Lucifer, and Raiden are of the same race of beings. I like this one because I forgot about it actually. And I remember when MK11 was coming out and Shao Kahn was coming back, we all wondered why the hell there were like dragon sort of spikes on his arms. So this is saying that basically Lucifer, who rules hell, and Shao Kahn and Raiden are all the same race. Now they have one thing all in common, is they're all evil. Raiden may not always be evil, but he always seems to go evil. He always seems to end up evil. Even in MK1, even in the old timeline. If you beat Mortal Kombat 1, it says that he basically kills everybody, have a nice day, you know, and he goes evil. And in the new ones, he goes evil. You know, so I guess that race of beings are all evil beings, I think, you know. I don't know if they've ever confirmed what that race is, but that's quite an interesting little tidbit of info.
There's a little bit of me in everyone.
There's a little bit of me in everyone. That's just a joke. It's just a funny thing to put there.
Even in play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam.
Play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. Obviously, this is a reference to The Cable Guy. One of my favourite Jim Carrey movies. It's very underrated. It's grown on me a lot in the last 10 years. Great movie. Obviously, they just chucked it in there. They like the references, the pop culture Mortal Kombat references. So.
The future is now! Soon every American home will integrate their television, phone, and computer. You'll be able to visit the Louvre on one channel, or watch female mud wrestling on another. You can do your shopping at home, or play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam. There's no end to the possibilities.
That was that.
It may be that Frost is merely hibernating.
It may be that Frost is merely hibernating. So in MK6, they said that Frost would return. And she returned in MK11. It took 5 games. It's pretty amazing. Hey guys, future me here. I made a mistake in when I originally shot this video. I'm actually editing the video you're watching now. And then I realized when I got to this whole part about Frost, I totally forgot about the PSP version. And I said, I was talking about MK Deception. This audio is extracted from the Xbox version. And there's a sound that says, it may be that Frost is merely hibernating. And then I said, oh, it's funny that she comes back in MK11. Like they planned it so many, years ahead before they brought it back. I totally forgot about the PSP version, which they were probably developing, and they'd probably already decided on Frost at the time. So the PSP version had Frost, Jax, Katana, and Blazin as extra characters in the PSP version. So this was a actual hint at what was coming to the PSP version. So sorry about the mistake. Back to the video. Oh, actually, one more thing. It's funny that I forgot to actually, because the first time I went to LA. Was 2006. That was for MK Armageddon and the PSP version of Unchanged that had Frost in it. And here's the screenshot I took of her bio from that E3. You're seeing it now. Back to the video.
Mortal Kombat. It is crazy with a K.
Mortal Kombat is crazy with a K. That's a joke. I feel like it's a quote from somewhere, but I don't know it, so if you know that it's from something, with any of these, if I haven't mentioned where they're from or where they originate from, chuck them in the comments, because I like to know this stuff. It sounds like I've heard that before though, somewhere, like Mortal Kombat's crazy with a K. I feel like it's like marketing material or a commercial or something, I don't know. Yeah, anyway.
The gods do not truly die. They merely dissipate until they can be reformed.
The gods do not truly die. They merely dissipate until they can be reformed. So they're saying basically if you get to God status or Elder God status, you can't be killed. You can be temporarily dissipated and then you reform. And this is kind of true when you think about Raiden in Mortal Kombat Legacy. When they kill Raiden and he blows up and then he reappears, and you know, that's sort of what he can do. That's one of his abilities.
Onaga took possession of Reptile's body in Outworld before stealing the Kamidogu and claiming Quan Chi's amulet for himself.
Onaga took possession of Reptile's body in Outworld before stealing the Kamidogu and claiming Quan Chi's amulet for himself. So that's a storyline fact. That's how Onaga came back to life, by using Reptile's body and then, you know, gaining access to the amulet.
In the beginning days, sorcerers were commanded by the Elder Gods to construct the many portals that connect the realms.
In the beginning days, sorcerers were commanded by the Elder Gods to construct the many portals that connect the realms. This is another great little tidbit of info. If you ever wondered where those portals come from, like in MK2 and MK Deadly Alliance, the portals that you see in the game, sorcerers made them. People like Shang Tsung and Quan Chi were the ones that were able to construct gateways from one realm to another, or one place to another. Quite interesting.
No warrior ever truly dies in Mortal Kombat.
No warrior ever truly dies in Mortal Kombat. That's just a fact. It's something that we've seen many times in MK, where people have died and come back to life, or they've reset the timeline and characters have come back to life. So
the One Being uses the ambition of creatures like Shao Kahn and Onaga to merge itself back together.
The One Being uses the ambition of the creatures like Shao Kahn and Onaga to merge itself back together. Quite interesting. Uses the ambition of creatures like Shao Kahn and Onaga to merge itself back together, the One Being.
All of existence is merely the dreams of the One Being.
All of existence is merely the dreams of the One Being. So that means all realms, everything that we know of, is all dreamed up by the One Being. I don't think we ever find out who the One Being is. I think it's honestly just a reference to Ed Boon or something. I don't know, someone who's in charge of the game. I think it's like, you're not supposed to know who the One Being is, unless I've got this totally wrong. I don't think the One Being references a character from memory. Because they talk about, I thought it was Onaga for a bit, but it's not, because even that statement says One Being uses creatures like Onaga. So I don't think we ever find out who that is, unless I'm totally wrong about this. You know, my memory's not so good anymore, and I'm forgetting a lot of the, especially from like games like Deadly Alliance and Deception. There's so much in them that it's hard to remember if you don't play it all the time. When I played it, it was very fresh in my mind. And then when you don't play it and just play it occasionally, you start to forget all those little details and that, you know. Especially when you've got that big conquest adventure and you speak to everyone and they say things back to you and in text form, you know, so. Let's have a look.
I am talking backwards. Spooky, isn't it?
I am talking backwards. Spooky, isn't it? This is a literal fact, talking about the audio.
Beware, Damashi is the Dragon King.
Beware, Damashi is the Dragon King. One of my absolute favourites. See, because as you're running around playing the game, it's very obvious that Damashi, the little glowing thing that always talks to you, is deceiving you. It's very obvious. But I find it funny that you literally go up to a guy halfway through the game and he literally tells you, Damashi is the Dragon King. He tells your character, but he says it backwards, and so you don't know. Character doesn't react in any way. It's quite funny. Shit like that.
John Vogel is a genius.
Next one is John Vogel is a genius. I've met John Vogel, and I guess I would say he's a genius, yeah. He's done a lot of things on Mortal Kombat, from remembering all the storyline elements to background graphic design. He did that courtyard pagoda that's in level 1, he digitized that into the game, and I think he also did the Buddha statue that's in the Palace Gates level. Did a lot of little background graphic elements like that early on, in the early days of MK, the very first one.
The Dragon King's army was undefeatable due to his ability to revive his troops from death.
The Dragon King's army was undefeatable due to his ability to revive his troops from death. So, the Dragon King could literally bring people back to life. Nice. And now I realise why I've confused myself. I've mixed up these pages. Alright. Just going to have to work through it.
Will Su Hao return from the dead? Probably not.
Will Su Hao return from the dead? Probably not. So, this was in Deception. They said Su Hao will not come back from the dead because he was killed. And then he came back from the dead. Which basically backs up the no one truly dies in Mortal Kombat statement from earlier.
Su Hao.
Su Hao's strength is matched only by his treachery. For years, this Red Dragon spy worked as a member of the Outworld Investigation Agency alongside Sonya and Jax. Upon receiving orders from Movado, Su Hao revealed himself as betrayer and destroyed the headquarters of OIA.
Su Hao is one of the Red Dragon clan, so he is definitely one of the bad guys. In Jax's ending, Su Hao gets killed. Jax rips his heart out, and we were fully prepared to say, yes, that really did happen. He's dead and he's gone. But Mortal Kombat Armageddon is about bringing every character back to life, so Su Hao is back, much to my dismay.
Did Shang Tsung and Quan Chi survive Raiden's ethereal blast? Time will tell.
Did Shang Tsung and Quan Chi survive Raiden's ethereal blast? Time will tell. So this is a reference to the intro from Mortal Kombat Deception, where Raiden sees no choice that they're not stopping the Dragon King and does sort of drops a lightning bomb, hoping that will stop him, but it doesn't. We don't know if Raiden survived that or not, and that's a reference to that.
But it is said that there is only one true ruler of Outworld. And that ruler had returned. Onaga, former Emperor of Outworld, the Dragon King. The prophecy had been fulfilled. The Dragon King had indeed returned to Outworld to reclaim his army and impose his dominance. Death awaited all who stood in his way. And so it was that a new alliance was formed out of desperation. Sworn enemies joined forces to combat a greater threat. Raiden began to realize that even their combined might was not enough to defeat the Dragon King. was only one chance left. Raiden's sacrifice was in vain, for the blast had little effect on the Dragon King. Now Onaga has what he needs to shape the realms as he sees fit.
Drink milk. Get plenty of sleep. Listen to your parents. Do your homework.
The next one. Drink milk. Get plenty of sleep. Listen to your parents. Do your homework. Just a, I guess a tip.
If you have decoded this, you have way too much time on your hands, my friend.
The next one, I kind of tilts me, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of a bit tilted by it. But if you have decoded this, you have way too much time on your hands, my friend. Thanks, Speedway. So, again, literal statement. That's factual.
The void is a place beyond the realms where the Elder Gods dwell.
The void is a place beyond the realms where the Elder Gods dwell. So, there are some references to the void in the story, and they're saying it's a place where it's also where the Elder Gods sort of project themselves from. Which is funny because in MK9, when you see the Elder Gods, they are like holograms when Raiden goes up to the statue, which backs this up again as well.
The spirit of Liu Kang will live on.
The spirit of Liu Kang will live on. So, in Deception, after Liu Kang was murdered in Deadly Alliance, it split his body into two. A physical, undead body that Raiden reanimates, as I was talking about earlier, and uses, controls it like a puppet to kill people. And then his actual soul and spirit, which is the noble Liu Kang, which wouldn't do any of that stuff, that was split. So, he's saying the spirit will live on, though they were hinting to the fact that maybe the spirit would come back somehow in someone else's body, or come back into Liu Kang's body, or... But basically, that event of him being murdered, Liu Kang didn't just go into the afterlife, or that. I feel like it was saying that the spirit was sort of roaming, looking for a way to come back. That's my interpretation of it anyway.
Onaga seeks information in Edenia. Tanya will provide it for him.
Onaga seeks information in Edenia. Tanya will provide it for him. So that's a reference to the story. Another factual thing.
You are being deceived.
You are being deceived. Another reference to the fact that Damashi is telling you a whole bunch of lies, and your character's just like, oh, sure, Damashi, I shall do as you ask. Shujinko is the dumbest Mortal Kombat character ever. Train! I got a bell too. Alright.
Remember, there are many realms.
There are many realms. Factual statement. Quite to the point.
Find Liu Kang in Outworld and inform him of Tanya's treachery for a different reward.
Find Liu Kang in Outworld and inform him of Tanya's treachery for a different reward. That's a good one. That's a tip. So that actually changes the way you play the game. I like that. That's very cool.
So we say, Raiden will return from annihilation, though he will not be as he once was.
Raiden will return from annihilation, though he will not be as he once was. And this is a reference to the fact that this is where Raiden goes bad, goes dark in the 3D games. I mentioned in the first game, if you beat it with him, he goes dark. This is a reference to, you actually see him go dark. He starts wearing the black, and that's why in MK9 he's black and got red eyes. Red eye Raiden is bad Raiden. So, that's basically the easy way to tell.
Good is any act that promotes the separation of the realms. Evil is any act of consolidation.
Good is the act that promotes the separation of the realms. Evil is the act of consolidation. Talking about good and evil and how realms being merged or together is how that affects, like, is that a good move or a bad move? For example, Outworld's a really bad place, and that's a consolidation of realms. And he's a tyrant who's using all the realm's power to make one big giant realm, one big unstoppable force, and that's an evil act. Realms living separate, living their own way, is a good thing, you know. Even in MK Deception, you have one realm that's all about order, and even though it seems crazy, their system works. And one realm that's all about chaos, and that might seem crazy, but their system works. And they coexist as separate entities. And one's not a good or bad place. It's just a mindset of how you behave in each realm. And that's why it's an interesting story with Shujinko going from realm to realm and getting in trouble for doing things in other realms and going back to this realm and doing things here when he wasn't supposed to do that and this and that, and, you know, getting locked up by Hotaru, you know, for doing something that he wasn't supposed to do, you know. It's an interesting concept.
On and off movement, on and off movement, on and off movement, Ed Boon 490, Ed Boon 490, Ed Boon 490.
Ed Boon 490, Ed Boon 490, Ed Boon 490. This one really, I really wanted to know what the hell that meant since Deception came out. And I got the answer. In 2008, I had a sit-down interview with Ed Boon, and I asked him, what the hell does this mean? I think he laughed when I asked him. I got the clip. I know it's hard to hear the audio. I didn't have a directional mic back then, so, you know. But, basically, Ed Boon 490, 490 was Ed Boon's extension. I think I'm allowed to say that because that was at Midway, and I hope it's not the same at NetherRealm or something. I hope not. So, Ed Boon 490 was him getting paged all the time to pick up the phone, extension 490, extension 490, extension 490. Because when you're Ed Boon, you got to do everything on the game. You're in charge, you're the leader. So, it was constantly getting paged, and that's a reference to that. They chucked it in the game as backwards text. Backwards speech, I should say.
Our CEO used to page me on our loudspeaker all the time, and it happened often. So at some point the company joke was, and so he would always say that, and that was like to became a joke in the company. That was his extension.
Sub-Zero's ancestral armor responds to him on a spiritual level.
Sub-Zero's armor responds to him on a spiritual level. So, it's not just armor, it actually... he has a connection with the armor. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Reiko is not Shao Kahn, though sometimes he secretly wears the Emperor's helmet.
Reiko is not Shao Kahn, though sometimes he secretly wears the Emperor's helmet. It's funny this, because in MK4 they ended the game where Reiko puts on the Shao Kahn mask, and you're like, oh my god. And everyone thought Reiko was Shao Kahn because he put the mask on. I never ever thought that. I always thought Riko's taking over Shao Kahn's position. Shao Kahn's dead, because he wasn't in MK4. I'm like, Reiko is taking over. You know, and people speculated about this for ages. They answered it during a Fight Night chat with Mortal Kombat Online. They answered it. Didn't matter how many times they answered it, people still didn't believe it. They still have to constantly put this stuff in the game. This is another time where they confirmed it again, that Reiko is not Shao Kahn, but likes to wear his helmet. I think it says it in the Conquest adventure as well, when you speak to Reiko. I think one of the quests is, I like to wear Shao Kahn's helmet or something, can you get it for me or something, and then you got to get it or something, I don't know, I don't remember the quest properly, but it's something like that.
You rock the house like Midway.
Oh, I like this next one. You rock the house like Midway. Now, for a while, I think when I first decoded this speech, like years and years ago, I'm like, oh, that's just a funny thing. But then I found out recently from going through some stuff, I put the two together. That statement was used in Midway's marketing on several things. Promo tapes, press releases. They would put, you rock the house like Midway on this stuff. And, yeah. So, that's a reference to that.
This video game is dedicated to our homies.
This video game is dedicated to our homies. Nice. Just a thank you from the dev team.
Perhaps you did not know this, but Noob Saibot spelled something backwards.
Perhaps you did not know this, but Noob Saibot spelled something backwards. Yeah, we all knew this, but if you're watching this and you don't know, Noob Saibot is Boone Tobias, the two creators of Mortal Kombat.
Smoke's nanotech systems are transforming his shape.
Smoke's nanotech systems are transforming his shape. So it's saying that Smoke is becoming more than a cyber assassin. He's literally becoming Smoke itself, I think. That's what they're saying.
Give Reiko's message to the Edenian official for a different reward.
Give Rico's message to the Edenian official for a different reward. So there's another in-game tip.
Mortal Kombat. Toasty. Frosty. Finish him. Fatality. Flawless victory.
The next one, Mortal Kombat, Toasty, Frosty, Finish Him, Fatality, Flawless Victory. Just some random gibberish to reverse to make it sound funny. For
many years, the Shokan and Centaurs were rivals, both seeking Shao Kahn's favor.
For many years, the Shokan and the Centaurs were rivals, both seeking Shao Kahn's favor. Yeah. So another fact from the storyline about Shokans and Centaurs fighting over sort of #1 position in Shao Kahn's sort of army of our worlds.
Scorpion is the true champion of the Elder Gods.
Scorpion is the true champion of the Elder Gods. You find this out sort of when you beat the game with Scorpion, who's my favourite character. You have to fight against Scorpion at the end of Conquest mode. You fight him earlier, but he's not Scorpion. He's actually called Monster, but he looks like Scorpion. And funny fact, I found this out from going through the game's files. He wasn't called Monster, he had other names. He was called Freak in the files. Freak, Monster, and there was one other one. Scorpion or Champion or something.
And now it's time for another exciting episode of What You Get!
Oh, I like this one. And now it's time for another exciting episode of What You Get! Again, I had no idea what this was, because this is from the grid. And at the time, you couldn't emulate the grid, and I've never played the grid. I always wanted to play the grid since '99. Ed Boon had it on his website, and nowhere in Australia ever had a grid machine. I never saw one ever anywhere. And I finally got to play it when I went to Galloping Ghost Arcade, and I played so much grid because I knew that was it. That's the only time I get to play it unless I go back to Chicago. So I played probably more grid than Mortal Kombat funny enough, because I wanted to really take it in and see what the game about, and I really did enjoy it. It's a really great game, actually. If I ever like happen to win the lottery or something, that's a game that I'll want to have in my arcade for sure. Agreed.
Well, we have a storm front coming in.
The majestic orange butterfly.
This beautiful teapot makes a...
It's time to play the grid, where contestants find out
To defeat the Dragon King, you must take from him that which makes him strong.
To defeat the Dragon King, you must take from him that which makes him strong. And this is another tip on how you beat the game. When you pick up the Komidogus, he's weakened for a few seconds, and you hit him, and you do some like double damage. If you get all the Komidogus, you weaken the hell out of him and can really, really beat him. Watch this clip.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight! Round 3. Fight!
Rain is purple, get it?
Rain is purple, get it? I've waited so long for this moment to show off some of my Prince footage from 2012. That's right, I went to Prince in 2012. It was the best concert ever, and I have some footage to show you guys here of Prince singing Purple Rain, which is where the character comes from. They were never able to say, the MK team, that it was a Prince song or a reference to a Prince song, because Prince liked to go after people and sue, and he was really weird about that stuff, but he's passed away now, so rest in peace, Prince. But in the video that you'll see, I'm going to have it in here in a minute, you'll see Steve Aran say it was a reference to an 80s pop song. That's how they had to say it, because they couldn't say it was Purple Rain by Prince, because he would like sue, because he was like that. He was a weird guy. Yeah, I saw him in 2012, and it's funny, this concert was the best concert ever for Prince. And it's funny because the concert had a theme. Prince liked to theme the concerts on each year's like tour, or 2 years or 5 years. Every time he toured, he had like an overall theme of the concert. And the theme for the concert I saw was Thunder, which is another move that Rain has. What a funny coincidence that Rain is purple. He's Rain. He's purple, purple rain. And then the concert I saw, the theme was thunder, which is what Rain's other special move is, thunderbolts from the sky. So I find that a little bit funny. Here's some of my footage. I'm going to put a bit here because I've always wanted to show off a bit of this footage because I snuck it. I was very, very naughty. I snuck it with that camera that what's filming me right now. Because I thought the reason why I snuck it was I'd seen this concert twice the night before, and I took a little camera in, and I couldn't believe how great this concert was. I couldn't believe the sound and the lighting and everything. The screens. The stage was like a 360-degree viewable stage. There was not a 180-degree viewing. Didn't matter where you sit, you could see the Prince logo lighting up and flashing, and smoke, and just really cool effects and projection, and it was such a great concert. It sounded amazing. And he played it twice. I went twice, and the second time I snuck that camera in, get some good footage. I thought, fuck this, I gotta have a bit of this. I'm gonna risk it. Risk getting chucked out, which almost happened. I almost got chucked out. I almost got caught. But I'm good. I'm good. I didn't get caught. And I snuck the footage, and Prince's entourage almost caught me with the camera, but they didn't. I got out of it. So I hid the camera quickly before they saw me, because they're very big guys. That Prince travelled the world with, and if you were caught filming, you were out. If you were caught by them, you were out. If you were caught by venue staff, hey, stop filming. If you were caught by them, you were out. So they almost got me. But they didn't. And anyway, I snuck it because the concert was absolutely amazing. And he played it twice, and each concert is different. They both had the theme of thunder. So when I say the theme of thunder, this is what I mean. Like, he'd play all the songs normally. He plays ensemble, all the songs, all the instruments, and randomly between a song or something, you'd hear a thunder rumble, and you'd see it come up on the screen, that Prince logo with all the lightning, which I've got. I'll show you guys. It was such a great concert, man. And I never thought I'd get to show any of this footage in a Mortal Kombat video, but here we are. So enjoy.
Rain. Although the blood of Adinian royalty flows through his veins, Rain is a traitor to his realm. When faced with the prospect of death at the hands of Shao Kahn, he offered his allegiance to the Emperor and betrayed his homeland.
Rain was a purple ninja who first made his appearance in MK3. He got his name from an 80s pop song.
Rain first appeared in Mortal Kombat 3, but he hasn't made an appearance since then. Rain will play a role in the Conquest mode of Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Rain was a hidden character. It was one of those last-minute inspirational ideas. I remember we had taken a number of our ninjas and changed their color and created Sub-Zero to Scorpion to Reptile. And I think one day I was driving somewhere and I thought purple is the color that we didn't use, so we decided to put him just in the attract mode. He wasn't a selectable character. When people started coming up with their stories of how they found him and played him, we decided to say, okay, let's make him a hidden character that you can actually play in the game. My favorite fighting move from Rain would probably be his Lightning Summons move, where in Mortal Kombat Trilogy you were finally able to play as Rain, so we had to give him some moves, and we gave him this move where he would summon lightning that would strike the other player, bounce him up in the air for a juggle. That's probably my favorite move.
Finish him. Rain wins.
Tonight and every night, swing it! Purple rain.
end.
Lucifer once ruled the Netherrealm until Shinnok defeated him.
Lucifer once ruled the Netherrealm until Shinnok defeated him. So the Netherrealm essentially is like hell, like what we perceive as hell. You know, the devil, Lucifer, rules hell. And the Mortal Kombat story is saying that he was overthrown by Shinnok, who is worse than the devil or Lucifer. Pretty cool.
Parents of the world, there is no satanic content hidden in the backward speech in Mortal Kombat.
Parents of the world, there are no satanic content hidden in the backward speech in Mortal Kombat. That's quite hilarious. Alright, read that one.
Onaga was poisoned and slain by his advisor, Shao Kahn.
Onaga was poisoned and slain by his advisor, Shao Kahn. This is a great little insert. So, when you first get to Outworld in the Conquest mode, you Damashi, who is Onaga, the Dragon King, says, you know, Emperor indeed, you know, blah, 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 blah. And he sounds very tilted, very angry about how Shao Kahn now rules that realm. And that is why. It's because Onaga used to rule Outworld. Shao Kahn used to be like Raiden, like this cutscene says, as an advisor, but took opportunity to poison Onaga and take over as Emperor. He's doing something. I feel like Angry Joe's become Corporate Joe lately. Oh, Outworld, yeah, Purple Realm. It's purple!
Welcome to Outworld, Shujiko.
Welcome to Outworld.
This is Outworld?
Yeah.
I have heard many stories about this realm. This is the domain of the Emperor Shao Kahn.
Emperor indeed. He is a thief, a deceiver. He is not the rightful lord of this realm. There was a time when he was much like Raiden is to your Earth realm, an advisor, but he abandoned his position and stole Outworld for himself.
Who ruled Outworld before Shao Kahn?
A powerful military commander, Onaga, the Dragon King. In that age, Outworld was unified. Under Shao Kahn's rule, however, Outworld...
Thanks, MK9, boy.
...and chaotic place. Be wary as you continue.
Exactly, make Outworld public.
I will keep my eyes open, Damashi.
That's okay, Steph.
The Dragon King revived the slain heroes who confronted the Deadly Alliance.
The Dragon King revived the slain heroes who confronted the Deadly Alliance. Nice. Another storyline fact. So anyone who confronted the Deadly Alliance, the Dragon King revived them.
It is said that John Vogel is a genius.
It is said that John Vogel is a genius. Also, John Vogel is a genius. It's said two different ways. So yeah, I already spoke about that earlier. As I mentioned, he is probably a genius. From the stuff he's done, his Skitter comic, which is really funny. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. It's fantastic. And he's done a lot of the artwork, and he's been part of Mortal Kombat for so long, and he's never left. You know, he's been from the start doing the storylines, and I met John Vogel when I was in Chicago, and he was just such a cool dude. So nice. Definitely awesome. And that's it for this video. Did you ring the bell? So yeah, MK Deception, it had that hidden in a part of the game that you will literally play and just hear, and I kind of knew it was backwards. I'm like, I bet that's backwards. It sounded backwards. And like I said, you can reverse it. And me being a bit of a reverse engineer of Mortal Kombat games, it's one of the first thing I did was dump the audio. So it kind of goes back to, it's funny. It's actually really funny. it's funny how things line up. See, I imported MK Deception to play it, just to play it, right? I bought an Xbox. I decided to play it on Xbox because, oh, that's right, because Xbox was getting the collectors. So I bought an Xbox just to play the collector's edition. Now, I knew I was importing this stupid thing, so it wouldn't work because Australia sucks. You import a game, half the time it doesn't work on Xbox. Half the time it does, it's weird. So I went off and I got the thing modified. You know, I don't even like mod chips. But I have a few things in a few systems to get around regional lockouts. So I went and got the thing modified just to get around the regional lockout. And then the guy was telling me that, oh, you can FTP into the Xbox. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And that actually turned out to be really handy because that's how I was able to rip all the music. I put it on my website, all the music from MK Deception. I was able to find sounds. And that was because you can't put an Xbox disc in your computer. It has a protection. So you need an Xbox CD-ROM, the one that's in the Xbox, to read the files. So you put the disc in the Xbox and then you use a crossover cable. Well, that's how I did it. Straight to my PC, didn't go through a hub, straight into the network card. Networked into the Xbox and then just transferred all the raw files over and then reverse engineered those files, the audio, all the sound effects, and that's how I was able to access this stuff. And it's just, I never intended to do that at all at the start. I just wanted to play the friggin' game. That's why I got it modified. But it turned out to be handy later for things like this. It's funny how things lined up. You know, a lot of things in Mortal Kombat just happen to line up. You know, you do this, you do that. It's the amount of coincidence in my life with things. I can't explain it sometimes. Like, seeing MK Online go to E3, all those earlier years, 2005, 4, 2002 I think was the first one I started seeing videos and screenshots. I dreamed about going. I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun to play a game before it's out. Like, to play a Mortal Kombat game before it's finished. Like, you get to play it. And it actually goes back further than that, actually. It goes back to the Road Tour. The Mortal Kombat Road Tour. The Mortal Kombat 4 Road Tour. I always wanted to go to that. Like, so bad. And I was really naive when I was a lot younger. And I thought it was going to come to Australia. Because I was on their website and I was just talking about how it's going all over the country. And I thought, fuck, it's going to come to Australia. It's going to be awesome. And it never came here. And, you know, I just thought it would because it was going all around America. I thought, what? It's going to go around probably then England and Europe and then Australia. No, it didn't. It never happened, you know. But I would have loved to have been part of that. I still got the press release saved with all the dates of the Mortal Kombat 4 Road Tour. I've still got that saved on a floppy disk. That's how bad I wanted to go. I had the dates saved. Here they are. You know, and it was just, it just didn't happen, you know. And that's just... I dreamed about going to America and all these things, you know, and playing a game before it was finished and meeting developers and all this stuff I started to see more and more in photos. Oh man, Ed Boon takes the chips to the next road tour location and upgrades them. I'm like, that is fucking crazy. So they're working on the game and then they're driving around promoting it at the same time, like once they had a pretty usable version. And Ed Boon was constantly updating this. Oh, this had a new, I don't know, somebody had a new move, and this, or they had a weapon combat or something. And then they take the chips there and put them in, and upgrade this game on the fly, on location, like, and show it off to people. Oh, that's fucking awesome. You know, you don't even hear about that these days. You hear about, you know, you get a demo or you see it at E3 and stuff like that. You see it to a degree, but to do that in the arcade days was amazing because you had to take a physical microchip, or 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and put them in and upgrade them, you know, to upgrade the EPROM data, you know, so it was very cool. So I always wanted to get to America and that, and I never thought it would happen. I honestly never thought it would happen. I got that job in 2005 at a small retro game store in Melbourne. We were specialised in Nintendo, and basically Nintendo invited us to E3 in America, and the boss said, I want to go, you want to go? And I said, sure I want to go. I've always wanted to go to E3. It was funny because some of the other guys in the shop, there was only 3 or 4 of us. Most of us wanted to go. One young guy's like, oh, you know, I don't really want to go. He kind of regrets not going, you know. But, you know, I jumped at that opportunity. I jumped at it because I thought, man, I'll probably never have an opportunity like this ever again. I've been to America 5 times now, you know. And, yeah, so I went to LA and we did all the Nintendo stuff, the press conference, the Wii was unveiled. That was absolutely madness. The Wii, oh my god, I was there for that. That was nuts. We were at the Nintendo after party. The Black Eyed Peas played the after party. It was mental. I've never seen anything like this shit. I'd never been to anything like this in Australia. You know, probably the closest thing would have been a rock concert that I'd been to in '98. Like a Fear Factory concert was kind of crazy, you know. But I'd never seen anything like this. I'm like, fuck, the Black Eyed Peas are just playing this little after party for Nintendo. And I'm like, fuck. You know, there they are up on stage. Here's a photo. And it was just crazy, you know. It was just absolutely crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. And I'm walking, I'd never seen anything like the Los Angeles Convention Center. That place was fucking massive. I had no idea what I was getting into. You know, I'm like, why is there a North Hall and a South Hall? I'm like, that's kind of weird, you know. And then when you get there, you're like, fuck, no wonder they have to call it North, South, East, West or whatever, because the place was so big, you know. But, like I said, it's funny how I just got a job in this video game store just as a career move, and it led to going to E3, meeting Ed Boon, you know, becoming friends with the whole MK team, playing Mortal Kombat Armageddon before it was finished, and fuck, you know, the rest is history. I came back in 2008 for MK vs DC Universe, and 2010 for MK9 to see at E3, you know. It's just, and it's not that I didn't want to come back the other years. I did. I want to go every year, but I could only go when I had money to go, or, you know, I had an opportunity to go. So, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. I'm sorry it was so long, but, you know, I wanted to do this one for a while because I know some people out there have done videos about backwards speech in MK Deception, but I just really love MK Deception, and I wanted to cover it a bit more thoroughly. So these statements were all extracted from the game. I don't even know if all of these are actually said in the game or not. I'd literally have to go up to everyone, record every statement, then match them or tick them off to find out, and I'm not going to do that because that would just take a long time, ages. It's easy for me to just say, this was all the statements I found in the game audio files, and talk about them. So thanks for watching. If you haven't, ring the bell, do it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys for another Mortal Kombat video. I've got something exciting to tell you guys, actually. I got my hands on the Mortal Kombat Special Forces prototype. This was the one that was shown at E3, where you could play as Sonya. You play as Jax or Sonya on it. I've got it. I have it now. It's mine. Yeah, Tabmock had it too, and he played it with Ryan. And someone actually messaged it to me a month ago, and I didn't log into Discord, because Discord is crazy for me. It kind of drives me nuts. And I hadn't seen the message, and someone actually messaged me at the same time, and I had no idea about it. And then I'm like, fuck, you know, and I made sure to go get it, and I have it now. And I've been going through the files, just like I did with this, and seeing what I can find. I've actually asked for some help with the texture extraction, because I don't have the tools for that. I've asked a few people who are experts at this stuff, like A. Luigi, you know, on ZenHacks, and places like, what's the other one called? Zentax. The places that specialise, or there's people in there who specialise in reverse engineering graphic formats. I'm not good with graphic formats. I'm better with audio. Audio's kind of easier. So I was able to unnest some of the files, but they keep going. They're like one of those Russian Barushka dolls. So there's one file on the prototype CD called sf.sf.cdf. And that file then has 198 files in it. And then those 198 files, some of them are texture files, and then that texture file has another 10 files inside that texture file. And you need to be able to open each one and look at the raw data. And that's something that I'm struggling with at the moment. I've cracked a bit of it with some tools that are already out there, but just need a bit of help with the TXDs and the TX files. So I'm hoping that someone on ZenHacks or Zen Tax will help with the format. We'll see how that goes. If I can't get help soon, I might just do a video anyway. I've got to see if I can make it playable on the PlayStation. I like to actually do a playthrough of it and commentary. I think that would be absolutely amazing. People would love it. Because my Special Forces video is talked about a lot because I reviewed it drunk and yelled at the screen. And fuck. It's a terrible game. The prototype is not. And I've known this for a while. I've seen some stuff behind the scenes from people who I won't mention. You know, I've seen things. I've seen a lot of this stuff before it was out. Before it was changed. So the two games are totally different. One has Jax and Sonya in it, and it's pretty good. Still pretty like MK cheesy, like Mythologies. And then we got the one we ended up with, which just had Jax and then had characters we didn't know, like Gemini and all this shit. And the story was bad, and it was just... This one was actually kind of good. It had different character motivations and stuff in it. And this didn't because it just had Jax. It was weird. They're both very different. So I have the demo. I have the prototype of the E3 demo, which is one level. You can play as Sonya. And I'm going to find a way to get that up on the channel. Even if I have to do it via emulator. It works on emulator. I tried to burn it onto a disc to play on the PlayStation. It didn't work. But I have a feeling that's something wrong with those CDs. Because it burnt. I looked at the files, I came up, and then like 10 minutes later, it couldn't read the CD anymore. I've never had that ever. It's kind of weird. So, I'll figure it out, don't worry, just give me time. And might do a video about that, because I think that would be quite interesting to do on the channel. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace. And I am working on a new intro. I'm sorry I used the old one. I need some ideas, I need some music. I don't have anything yet, so... I've been toying with a few things that haven't really panned out or I haven't really liked it, so in between doing other things, but I do want to do a new intro. I know a lot of you guys don't like my intro. It's the sound. I like the sound because it's quick. It's from Cruising USA when you get first place. That's what the whole audio fanfare is. And, well, the rest is just a flaming TotalMK logo. I don't think that's so bad, but I think it's the music that tilts everyone. People don't like the music. It's not really Mortal Kombat, I guess. But I just liked it because it was quick and it's not kind of electric guitar. Vince Pontarelli, who did work on Mortal Kombat, Slaughterhouse Drive, anyone, you know, that's the same guitarist. So there is sort of a reference. But, yeah. I'll work on something. We'll get a new intro soon, too, as well. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Ring the bell, and I'll see you next time. Peace.